Welcome everyone to the House of Dre's podcast. I am Dre himself, and welcome to the podcast. The House of Dre podcast provides various topics. I'm talking about fantasy, anime, cartoon shows, TV shows, movies, music, everyday life, random stuff in general. You know, that's what the podcast is about. So if you need something random in your life, something that makes it different. If you need something different in your life that you don't normally listen to, the House of Dre is the house for you. Make sure you guys are following the podcast on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Amazon Music, Pocket Cast, Castbox, Pandora, and sometimes on YouTube when I decide to be professional, etc., etc., etc. But let's talk about today's subject. I just thought about it. Well, not just thought about it. I actually forgot about doing this because that's what I do best. Because I'm always podcasting. I'm always doing other stuff. You know, that's what I do best. I almost forgot. But today's podcast, why Mortal Kombat 1, the video game, has potentially ruined the series. Oh, yes. Man, oh, man. Like I said, I almost forgot about this. I was scrolling through my old podcast list because I'm still trying to update those as best as I can. And it passed by, and I said, oh, yeah, I almost forgot about that one. So let's go through history. We're going to go through history as we build up to the Mortal Kombat 1 game and what happened. Starting back, going back all the way back. After the 3D era of Mortal Kombat, what is the 3D era? The 3D era was like the PlayStation 2 era of Mortal Kombat. The thing was all the everything they was doing for it, they kind of make it 3D, where it actually looked really freaking good. We're talking about Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, Armageddon, Deception, Shaolin Monks, around that time frame on the PlayStation 2, where they make the characters they compared to a lot of other games and stuff, especially during that fighting time area, they look really freaking good for the video game eras. I ain't gonna lie, they look really good. So after that era of Mortal Kombat was at a pause still, like we always know. Mortal Kombat is not a year by year basis. It's more about 3 to 4 year basis, right? They'll do one, let that run for about 3 to 4 years, and then they'll bring out another one. But on this time frame, there really wasn't as much stuff going on at that point in time. And then eventually, Mortal Kombat went ahead and dropped a brand new Mortal Kombat game. They just titled it Mortal Kombat. But if you're following the Mortal Kombat history, this is called Mortal Kombat number 9. It has Scorpion and Sub-Zero on the front doing the battles like normal. In this video game of Mortal Kombat 9, they decided to go back to the beginning. They wanted to redo the story. It's been a very long time since they've done a story, so they want to redo the story. So we go all the way back. We get to see all the characters starting off the Mortal Kombat tournament with Raiden, Liu Kang, Kung Lao, of course, Jax, Sonya Blade, Johnny Cage. Fresh start. And then we watched as the tablet that Raiden was having kept cracking. So that's where the storyline starts up at, where he's trying to figure out why is it breaking so much, what happened. From there, we go from the events of Mortal Kombat 9 to the Mortal Kombat 10 events, which happens, I think, about a decade or so after Mortal Kombat 9. And now the characters are older. A lot of the characters from 9 was killed, and we're focused on a new era. So the ones who didn't get killed, Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, Jax, they end up having children. So it might have been 20 to 30 years. I don't know. It's like something like that. They end up having children, and those children are now getting introduced into the Mortal Kombat lore. We're talking about Jax and his daughter, Jacqueline Bridges, where she was special ops, along with Sonya Blade and Johnny Cage's daughter, who her name was, I forgot what her name was. I'm not going to lie. Cassidy Cage, who was kind of like picking up she was stepping in the same realm that her mom is in, especially with the special ops unit. And she's picking up where that's from. It was some brand new children, at least 4 of them. I think it was 4 that they focused on in Mortal Kombat 10. They kind of stepped forward and took reins of the Mortal Kombat universe, while also still having respect, and we're still playing with the old school characters of Johnny Cage and Sonya and them, and just in their advanced age. Awesome, awesome, awesome stuff, right? Really good game. That's Mortal Kombat 10. That's how 10 came through. 10 came through, still brought up the events that happened post Mortal Kombat 9 and everything that's going on then. From those events from 9, or from 10, we jumped to Mortal Kombat 11. Mortal Kombat 11 decided to flirt with the not to flirt with them. They decided to flirt with the timelines, right? Mortal Kombat 11 decided that we're gonna bring in some of the characters from the past and create a split timeline where we have the cast from the past interact with the cast of the present time and everything that happened from Mortal Kombat 9. Now that one stand out for me is because it was like that, but the characters models were bad to me. The character, I was like, why didn't they take the characters from 9 and put them back in here for 11? I didn't understand that one at all. But that's just that's just a nitpick. It was nitpicking for me. Good game though. I mean, was it a good game? I think it was solid. I think it was a solid enough game, but I think it could have definitely been a little bit stronger of a game, in my personal opinion. That's just me, though. I still watched. I mean, I still played it. I played it on stream during that time frame. I was playing it on stream. Like I said, it was solid, but definitely could have been better. Definitely could have been better. But from a Mortal Kombat 11. With the timeline, and this is now what's his name? Luke Cage. Not Luke Cage. Wow. Luke Kane has become a fire god, and his new access of powers and the new storyline coming through and all this stuff. This will end up leading to a timeline to where Luke Kane creates a brand new timeline. This brand new timeline, he's supposed to overwatch and let the process go as it's supposed to go. He was not supposed to interfere in anything, etc., etc., etc. That's where Mortal Kombat 1 comes through. So let's stop right there. We're gonna stop right there. Let me give you my thoughts on every game. I think Mortal Kombat 9 for me was the best of them. I think the fighting styles, I like the fighting styles, the character models, the dialogue, the story, everything just flowed really well. It was also some crazy choices that they did make by killing off Luke, by having Luke, a lot of the people die in the game, in the story mode. And that was like, that was kind of shocking for me. I was like, okay, well, I'm used to Mortal Kombat characters being killed off. You know what I'm saying? I played Deadly Alliance, and in Deadly Alliance was like the only game that didn't have Luke Kang in there because they killed off Luke Kang in the story mode. There's no Luke Kang, and we're just vibing now, right? That's pretty much what happened. So I'm used to him not being in the game. So here they have like having him there. It's like, okay, this is a different twist. I enjoy it. It's solid. It's cool. And then my second favorite game, of course, is 10. Number 10 was good too. The reason why number 10 was so good too is because of the introduction into not only just new heroes from the hero side, like the people that we know and love end up having children. It was also the introduction of new conflict in general. It was a big time skip. It was like a big skip that we have not had in Mortal Kombat ever. So we got to see brand new stuff that's going on. A different version of Outworld. No more Shao Kahn. There's now Kotal Khan is his name. Is now the ruler of Outworld and all this stuff. And it's like, this is amazing work. This is crazy work. New abilities, all this stuff. So it was kind of like a brand new reset that Mortal Kombat wanted. Because it felt like we haven't had one ever. And this was their opportunity to go ahead and push for new things in general. So they was like, all right, well, where we want to go from here? Well, let's introduce brand new characters. Let's introduce brand new villains and heroes. Let's create a new fighting styles. Let's get something new. And it felt good to have something new, especially in Mortal Kombat. If you are following Mortal Kombat, history tells us that we wasn't going to get too many brand new characters like that. And that most of the characters are non-important. But here, not only are every single character important, but they had a role to actually play within the storyline that wasn't just BS talking. Which, like I said, it's always good if you're a Mortal Kombat watcher. From there, that's where this is where Mortal Kombat 11 hits for me. Mortal Kombat 11 come to me. It went to I didn't care too much about it. You know what I'm saying? I didn't like the character models. I think this is the time they was actually taking the similarity to lookalikes from Ronda Rousey and using real people to create these characters. And to me, the models looked bad. I was like, ew. This looks real bad. I think I got some of the gameplay up on my YouTube channel, which is the House of Dre on YouTube. Yeah, go over there and go back to the history. Go back to some old videos. I'm pretty sure I got the videos all uploaded so you can tell the differences in between each game, pretty much. And I was like, yeah, I'm not a fan of this. I'm not a fan of this at all. This looks bad. So you had that, and then with them flirting with the timeline and stuff like that, and I was like, oh yeah, this is the timeline, and it's getting flirted with, and we're changing some stuff up. All right, cool. Then, and the storyline wise, when they did it, it kind of, for me, it kind of knocked off a lot of the characters that built up in 10, and they kind of like they got the shaft, they got pushed to the side. You had Total Khan. So Total Khan was the new emperor of Outworld. In Shao Kahn's version, Total Khan was just his general, like his right-hand man. So the fact that now he's Khan, he's like, oh, you're a Khan now? Nah, that's a joke. You ain't no, you're not that. I'm been the big dog, and I'm gonna stay the big dog. And then you had Shao Kahn destroy this man in battle. 1v1, he beat the snot out of him. No competition. It was like, oh. I was like, oh, well, the way they had it in 10, they had it in 10 to where it seemed like Total Khan was on that level, was high tier, really strong character. But in reality, he's absolutely nothing compared to Shao Kahn. Shao Kahn was just a whole different beast in general. So I was like, that kind of sucks that we got introduced to this new emperor, but this emperor ain't nothing. He ain't no nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's like that sucks. You had that issue. Not Liu Kang. The Sub-Zero and Scorpion issue was done and gone and over with. No longer them fighting. They're on the same team. The fact of the thought process was to kill off Scorpion. Just to do it, because there really wasn't no follow-up. They just did it because they could. That sucked. They killed off the older version of Scorpion, and then they kind of just did their thing with it. A lot of stuff that didn't get really talked about as much should have got talked about, but it didn't really. It felt like they were so busy trying to do the timeline thing. I was like, you know what I'm saying? That's not really something I really too much care about, you know. But that's what they pushed for, you know. They had to do a new game and new storyline and new things like that, and that's the best thing they can come up with. So I'm like, I wouldn't have done X, Y, Z, but that's just me. All this built up, and you know, we get Fire God Liu Kang, we get him in a new transition state, pretty much. Raiden is no longer around; he's gone, he's done and over with. And now, moving forward, Liu Kang having access to the hourglass. Not only that, they also did a cutscene, a part 2 to it, where it's called the Aftermath, where they continue the story to where Shang Tsung gets involved with all this stuff and whatever, blah 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 blah. So 11 for me, it was a lot of hit and misses for me. 11 was definitely hit and miss. I think 9 and 10 was better than 11. That's just me. And then we jump forward to Mortal Kombat number 1. Now, Mortal Kombat 1 had a potential to be absolutely beautiful, right? We have Liu Kang starting a brand new universe. So the opportunities of doing so much stuff was crazy, because a lot of the stories from the Mortal Kombat 11 endings for a lot of the characters was especially for Scorpion. Scorpion was like he was going around finding other people that was similar to what's her name, Chronica, where she was the hourglass user before Liu Kang. They went around looking for her and found. I mean, apparently there was more just like her out there. And Scorpion was planning on going around and killing every single one of those. And I was like, that's a good title. I said that'd be awesome if they do that, because now we get the now we could see these other Titans and what they've been doing, and then maybe we can get like a power boost, like an increase of powers and stuff for the Mortal Kombat universe. Because if you guys do not know, another podcast that I am planning on doing, which is taking Mortal Kombat characters and putting them in the Naruto verse to see how they interact with with characters like that of that situation. But they're basically humans. Majority of them are basically just basic humans, basic monsters, quote unquote, versus they're just that. They're just basic people, and they're fighting each other's. Scorpion is from hell, supposedly, quote unquote, but he doesn't have the enough firepower to defeat somebody. You know what I'm saying? Sub-Zero, he's an ice master, but his ice doesn't freeze to kill. He freezes, he has killed, but in combat and stuff, people has broken out of his ice many times before. So it's like this doesn't seem as strong as it should be. These characters seem like they're downgraded. And it doesn't make it better whenever they did the DC versus Mortal Kombat universe thing, because that makes it even worse that this even happened, because none of those characters from Mortal Kombat can go toe-to-toe with anybody from DC and put up a legit battle, a legit fight. So it was mostly video game style. And it's like, yeah, this is cool, but it's not worth it. You know what I'm saying? It's not worth it at all. Now, let's fast forward to Mortal Kombat 1. With Mortal Kombat 1 coming out, like I said, potentials was high. I was excited for it. You know, I was really excited. I'm like, oh, this could make or break Mortal Kombat. This could send Mortal Kombat into a brand new Freezy. We can see brand new stuff. There's going to be a lot of stuff happening in Mortal Kombat 1 that's going to change the trajectory of the Mortal Kombat universe. But that's not what ended up happening. So we get the new version of Mortal Kombat. Liu Kang has crowned the three brothers, or is it two brothers? Two brothers, right? Two brothers? It might be two brothers. Basically, the guys who are becoming Smoke, Sub-Zero, and Scorpion, all three of those are just basic humans with no access to those abilities just yet. And we created this new timeline was supposed to, it's like we get to see a brand new version of everybody, right? We get to see a brand new, we get to see Queen Sindel in her reign, but not sick. We get to see why Baraka's people did become sick. We get to see a lot of people's new origin stories, but at the same time, in my personal opinion, it didn't really help the stories. Not only that, but they jumped into the multiverse concept, and I've talked about this in the past, but the multiverse concept, especially in the media like this, is lazy. It gets real lazy. It's because there's a lot of plot holes that happens. There's a lot of plot holes that end up happening. There was not enough reasons why they decided to do it. They just did it just to do it. And the same thing Mortal Kombat fell in love with also ruined the experience of Mortal Kombat, because they fell in love with the multiverse concept, and then it's like, you guys screwed it up too now. You know what I'm saying? You guys screwed it up too. It's cool to see some of these characters that we don't get to see, right? It was cool to see Nevada, which was the vampire woman. We got to see her race. We got to see how Reptile became Reptile himself. We got to see the origins of Baraka's people, all this stuff, but it was like, yeah, but in the past, a lot of these people were still villains. Like, why do they become villains? You know what I'm saying? And this is them trying to reenact that, reverse those decisions. Like, well, they're not villains. They're more like victims or whatever. It's like, okay, it's a choice. I'll say that. It's a choice. It's not a good choice, though, in my personal opinion. It's just, you know what I'm saying? It's not a fantastic choice. I wouldn't have done that. You know what I'm saying? I would have at least got the backstories and then created why who they are, why they decided to team up, especially later on in years and stuff. And the fact that Liu Kang had no control over none of this stuff because he doesn't have the hourglass. Like, okay, then why are you down here for, Liu Kang? You're supposed to be, non-biased, not supposed to interfere in anything. But it's like you're somewhat trying to interfere with the drama. And sure, that didn't really work out for me. The very ending was also, in my personal opinion, was bad. What ended up happening was that different people who won the tournament all came together. And who won the tournament in the hourglass? They came together, and it was this big old battle royale, good versus evil. But it was majority of characters that we've already seen throughout the Mortal Kombat history. Not only that, but it was a lot of them you couldn't really use anyway. Like, it was just a bunch of mess. It was just a bunch of multiversal people who are kings and queens or whatever, the hourglass. Just a big old fight, which is strange for me because you guys know I love like fantasy wars. You know what I'm saying? You guys know that like Naruto, the Fourth Great Ninja War is one of my favorite arcs because it's just a big battlefield full of crazy stuff happening. The Tournament of Power and Dragon Ball, while filler for me, majority of that was filler. But when watching it the first time and stuff and reading about it, it was pretty much a big battle royale between everybody just fighting just to fight. So you guys know that when it comes to fantasy anime, battles and stuff, even I got my book, the Chaos World, it has a massive battlefield, massive war that happens close to the very ending of the chapters, especially in part 2. So I'm a big fan of it. But this one, that was just lazy. It was lazy. I didn't like it. I thought it was lazy. I didn't like the reasons behind it. And all it did for me was look at the potential of what they should have done or what they could have done in the future for the Mortal Kombat universes. That's all they did for me. I was just like, was this the best route they could have gone with? Was there not other stuff they could have done? Was the storyline, there was just more details from storylines that we could have done to make this better? And I think they took a nosedive downwards. I think they missed on that one. And it doesn't make it better that gameplay-wise, fighting-wise and stuff like that, they decided to introduce quote-unquote tag team switching. This is something that other video games have done. Most particularly, the Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi series, they done this before to where you pick a team of 5 or you can pick a team up to 5 and you guys all battle out. Well, everybody has their own health bar and stuff and you can switch players in the middle of that battlefield, right? You have to push the buttons and they switch out and then the next person come in and there's 2 characters that confuse as long as you guys got the same, as long as you have those members and you get to a certain bar, you can fuse them together to create their fusion. And then the next time I'll see it again would be the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm series. Ninja Storm 4? It was either 3 or 4 that did it. Where they make you pick your main character and your 2 support characters, your attack and support. In the middle of battle, you can flip around set characters. Everybody has the same health bar, but you can flip them around. So if I'm playing with Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, in the middle of those battles, I could be in the middle of a combination with Naruto and I could flip it to get in the combination with Sasuke, then flip that back to Sakura to end off the combo. You can do that in mid-battle. So the Mortal Kombat was introducing this, but they was only support. Meaning, if I'm playing Sub-Zero and my partner is Frost, which Frost wouldn't even be part of the game itself, they only has some people that wasn't part of the game as just support only. So playing that Sub-Zero and I pick Frost as my support, that's all she does. She'll come in, throw in ice daggers, and that's it. And that was her support. That was all she did. There was nothing else that she could do for the team. And it's like, why did we limit ourselves? Why did you limit that for? What is the thought process of limiting something like that other games have done and done it better? Why are you limiting players to do that? The DLCs are also bad. And you could tell the game really, you could tell when games like this falls off heavily, it's because A, no one plays them no more. B, they were still dropping DLC, but no one talked about it no more. No one cares about Mortal Kombat no more. It was hyped up when it first came out, but since then, it just died off. It just, it literally died off now. And now that game is like, this had potential. The potential was ruined. The potential is no longer there. We need to move on from Mortal Kombat now. Now what? Like, how can the next Mortal Kombat video game pick up where it failed, where this game failed? And it's like, it's gonna be a lot of work. Of course, they're gonna get the hype for it. A lot of people gonna most likely buy it. I know I didn't buy Mortal Kombat 1, surprisingly, right? I didn't buy one. I was going to. It had potential, but then when I noticed they did the multiverse storyline, I watched the whole story cuts and stuff on YouTube. So yeah, so whenever these games come out, wait a little bit. Someone's gonna have the complete story uploaded on YouTube, so you can watch it like you're watching a movie. And that's exactly what I did, because I wanted to make sure before I bought this game that it was gonna be worth it, you know. And I was like, no, this ain't worth it. I'm not spending my moolah on non-good products no more. I'm done with that. I've returned back to the PlayStation 2, by the way. I'm no longer interested in updated game systems right now. No, thank you. So, excuse me. So now that Mortal Kombat 1 done and over with, it's done and over with. Cool. What's next for Mortal Kombat universe? The video game wise, I'm assuming the next thing they're gonna do is do 2 more movies. They normally do. I mean, 2 more games. They normally do. But will those games live up to the hype? I don't know. But at the same time, since this was a continuation to number 4, to number 11, this is a 4 video game thing. They might be done. They might be done for a little while. The next time we see another Mortal Kombat thought process for the video game series would be like doing something new. Once again, I don't know how many times you can reamp Mortal Kombat over the years. That's my thing. I don't know how many times you can actually do it and people accept it doing it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. A lot of like anime video games, they can keep doing it, right? They can do that forever because people love it. Not only that, but there's a hope that, maybe Dragon Ball Z includes GT series and we get more GT characters, or maybe we get the series for Naruto and we get to start from part 1 when they were just barely ninjas all the way up into the very ending, and then we can also get Boruto now. Those are options. Mortal Kombat doesn't have that. Mortal Kombat's history doesn't allow that, because whatever the story is, that's just what the story is. You work around, you play that story through, and then they kind of just ended it off, and it's kind of like, all right. They kind of treat they treat the games as though they're like TV shows and movies, right? Here's part 1. Here you go. Oh, here's the first one, and then you come back. Here comes the next part of the story, and then here's the finale part. So they kind of treat it like it's a movie. It's not a movie. It's a game. So I personally don't think they have it in them to do something different, because I don't know what's next. How long can you keep running the characters? Because you can't get away. Once you establish something, it's going to be hard for them to move away from stuff, right? When Deadly Alliance came out, and Liu Kang was killed. He was no longer in the game. I was super surprised. I was like, what? I said, yeah, Liu Kang sure ain't in this game. There's no way to get Liu Kang because Liu Kang is not in the game, because in the story, he's dead. It's like, oh, wow, this is crazy work that they created a whole game with the death of Liu Kang. And then I wouldn't say Liu Kang again until Armageddon. And Armageddon was it Deception? It was either Deception or I forgot which one came first. But we didn't get to see Liu Kang again until that next game, to where he's a zombie because of the Armageddon aspect of things. He was a zombie, and now he's back, and now we can put him back in the game, but as a zombie version of himself. But it makes sense storyline wise that he's a zombie, so we was able to use zombie Liu Kang in the battle. This here I don't think they can. I don't think they have the what do I say? I don't think they have the want or I don't think they're cocky enough to do something like this. I don't think they are. I don't think they're cocky enough not to add in another Sub-Zero Scorpion. I think, I mean, or like kill them off and then just like, it's whatever, it's GG. They're no longer here. Let's do something different. I don't think they have it in them. I don't think the creators have it in them. I think they're just gonna, they're not gonna listen to this podcast. I know they're not. I know they're not. That's fine. I don't care. I don't care about that part. I just know for a fact they're not gonna do it. Because if they was gonna do it, they would do it. You know, if you can do it, do it. You know, let's create a prequel. I say create a prequel to Mortal Kombat. I'll say if you want to start up a new Mortal Kombat storyline, let's create a prequel. Let's start with the original creators. Let's start with the original timelines and stuff. We got the 6 realms. The 6 realms haven't really been deeply explained, deeply messed with and touched since Mortal Kombat Armageddon. In Armageddon, you know, they tell you, hey, these are the 6 realms. Each realm is this, da, 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 blah, 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 blah. We got that a little bit, but we didn't get enough rich history, you know. How about we go to the beginning? Mortal Kombat prequel. Mortal Kombat origins. Origins of the story. Origins of the Shaolin monks. Origins of the Elder Gods. How long had they truly been around? Who had they truly been fighting against? How about elders? How about the who created the Sub-Zero clan, the Scorpion clan, the Quan Chi and his sorcery? Who started them on these routes? Let's see a prime Bodaraicho who is a master. Let's see him in his prime and everything that built up. Let's see everything unfold and all the drama and stuff in the very, very beginning of everything. I think that would be 10 times better. The Grand Masters of the Liu Kuei, which is the Sub-Zero spot. Let's see that. You know what I'm saying? Let's see some origin stories of a lot of these characters and stories and see how they unfolded in the history books, you know, and maybe it leads to generation of stuff. Let's do that. Let's do an origin story, because right now I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. If the next Mortal Kombat video game is just them picking up where they left off on 1 and expecting people to actually care, especially me, I'm not gonna care too much. I'm just like, all right, whatever. Is the game good or not? What does it remind you of? And you know, I look at that stuff, but long-term wise and stuff, man, it's cooked. It's cooked. So unless they're doing origin stories to build up stuff like that, and you know, we get characters that they flirted with but didn't go full on with it, then there's no point of doing it. You know what I'm saying? There's no reasons to do any of this. You know what I'm saying? That'd be ideal. That'd be my ideal. My ideal would do the origins of everything, rebuild the Mortal Kombat universe from the beginning, and just do it that way. I think that'd be a lot better. I think it'll be cool. I think it'll be ideal. I think it'll be something fresh. I think you need something fresh. I think right about now they should have something fresh, and I think that would be fresh enough to do that. That's just me though. But hey, that's my personal opinion on everything. Mortal Kombat 1 kind of ruined the trajectory of the Mortal Kombat universe, in my personal opinion. Now, of course, Mortal Kombat, the movies, we'll talk about that in a different podcast. We'll probably talk about that in a couple weeks or whenever they decided to drop a trailer for it. If you guys did not know, that is in production right now. I think they're flirting talking about by the end of the year or something like that. That's when they're thinking about that should be coming at some point. So we'll talk about it when that starts popping up again. So later on this year, most likely, we'll talk about it. But until then, just, you know, take a look at the Mortal Kombat history. You know what I'm saying? Take a look at all the games and stuff. You know, figure out maybe I'm capping. Maybe I got my stories mixed up. I don't think I do, but you never know. But make sure you guys are hitting the follow button, hitting the share button. Follow this on YouTube at the House of Dre on YouTube. Make sure you type in the House of Dre. That's because that's the name. You know, do that, and you know, follow the podcast. Make sure y'all listening to all this, and I will catch y'all on the next one.